in 3, 2, 1, Tetris!
All right, and now we can see the gameplay.
All right, so people are pointing at we are on a very, very rough clock. We have 90 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So
fortunately, we have contingency plans in Classic Tetris. One of those is the way the bracket is structured, is that the semis can either be played one at a time or simultaneously. So we are doing them simultaneously to save that time and get this done on time.
And so if you thought these matches have been action-packed already, buckle up.
So we're going to get all 4 of these amazing players at once. More Tetris than you can handle.
You bought a whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
All right, so Meme is trying to get this down. It looks like she might be going for a dirty Tetris. Gonna opt to just burn here. Will she still go for it? Nope. Just gonna play it safe there. Probably the right move this early on, but you never know with how close these games get at the very end if that one dirty Tetris might make all the difference. Gets a dirty Tetris there, though. 1 row off the bottom.
Sodium with literal perfect play at the moment. And that's 1 more. 100% Tetris rate for Sodium. Well, I wondered what else could we see. We gonna see how far can Sodium stay perfect?
We'll see. Yeah, that was a nice little Vitz in the center of the board for Sodium. Ooh, this is gonna be not recoverable for perfect pace, but Sodium is still alive. Would love to just get out of this situation right now. He's having to cover up the well. Take some burns, get his board, clean and ready, and boom, Tetris for Sodium.
Cole did manage to end up taking a very small lead for just a very small moment. Just shows you how quickly things can change and how this has been and will continue to be a game of inches and micro adjustments.
Yeah, there is so much history with all 4 of these players. It's really incredible. Cole has just been on the rise every year in CTWC, was within a game of the top 8 this year. Sodium has been around for a long time, finally won a regional at Boston Tea Parody the other year. I remember him being a finalist in the South Carolina regional. I believe that might have been his first live regional, so we will see if he can make it back to the finals today. And Tristop is one of the longest running players in the new gen. His first ever regional was the 2019 East Coast Regional, back in the day when Chris Brady won it all. And here he is today, throwing up 1.6s against me. And meanwhile, he's in a small lead versus Meme, who is still building off the bottom. Wants this dirty Tetris, wants to maintain pace, knowing how good Tristop is. And meanwhile, Sodium is in quite a bit of a dig. Lots of traffic in the stack up high. Does get a dirty Tetris. Feels good to burn down with that. But Cole has just a perfect clean board and is able to take advantage of this and build up a bit of a lead. Nice adjustment by Cole there, and is going to be rewarded with a clean Tetris.
Looking over Cole and Sodium, they have a 1-to-1 match record in CTM Masters, 3 to 5 games.
Meme's still building off the bottom. Rollers do really have the luxury of being able to comfortably do this pretty much indefinitely. Any sort of additional burns they might have to take getting up high will be very minimal. And another Tetris for Meme.
Keeping it dusty.
Yes. Sodium gets a nice clean Tetris. Tetris rate 67% after that perfect start. So Cole has really turned things around here to take a bit of a lead as he's managing this small drought. Gets the Tetris up to an 86% Tetris rate. 94,000 point lead over 4 Tetrises. Meme still building off the bottom. We will see when she chooses to burn it all back down.
A somewhat uncomfortable situation for Cole up top, but...
Yeah. Waiting for the right pieces and gets all of them to reopen the well, just waiting for the long bar, and there it is. And Meme transitions with 600,000. So building off the top did not affect her pace too bad. That is still a fantastic transition, but Tristop has not even transitioned yet and is already ahead. 662 transition for Tristop. Just incredible pace games today, and a 51,000 point lead.
I've lost count of the 650K plus transitions we've seen here.
It's truly incredible. All that perfect play, we're really seeing it in action. And something that's really cool by the attendee Fractal there, who pointed out in a comment on my video I recently made about perfect games, the AIs have proved that a lot of games can be perfect if you stack optimally. It's not often the droughts that are screwing you. It's only about, I think, roughly half the time. The other half of the time, it just comes down to stacking perfectly. And these players, they can move the pieces basically as fast as you possibly can with rolling. There's nowhere to get better with speed, so now it's just about getting better with stacking.
Play perfect Tetris. That's all it takes.
And meanwhile, Meme did, shortly after level 19, manage to get the well transfer back down to the bottom, has a traditional well with nothing on bottom, and is only about 2 Tetrises behind. So keeping pace with Tristop's incredible scoring here.
Sodium has narrowed the score gap against Cole at this point to a virtual dead heat, less than a Tetris for most of that time.
Tristop closing in on the level 24 max out here. There was once upon a time that was unheard of, and now it's pretty common for these top players.
Just another day at the office.
Meme trying to pull this together. The best of 3 does mean the stakes are high with every game. You lose one game, you're immediately on the ropes. But these players know how to handle the pressure. Every time it's 1-1, it goes to a best of 3. And we got a nice
out for Tristop.
Max out for Tristop. Nice line down the center there to recover the state of his board, and he's going to get another Tetris there. Back up to a 50,000 point lead, but Meme is staying pace. Max out for Meme. Meanwhile, up at the top, both Cole and Sodium are closing in on max outs of their own, less than a Tetris apart. Sodium dealing with a little bit of an uncomfortable board situation. Getting it resolved nicely. Still has a small lead. Just waiting for that Tetris. And perfect skims, perfect setup. And there's the Tetris for Sodium. Setup for another one. Cole's ready, navigating this drought. Takes the burns. Where's the long bar? And there's the Tetris for Cole to get back within less than a Tetris.
Max out for Sodium, crossing the 1 million point threshold.
And Meme and Sodium are into level 29. Sodium with a mid 1.0, Meme with a mid 1.1, Tristop with a high 1.2. That is the paces we are dealing with here. Sodium with a mid 1.0. Sodium, or Cole with a mid 1.0. Sodium hangs. So this is going to be Sodium is almost dead, trying to eke out a couple more lines, make this chase down as difficult for Cole as possible, and might actually survive this. Can he dig this out? And oh my goodness, but hangs afterwards. Can he get LBs? Gets it over, but it's not going to be enough.
Chase down.
Cole needs 1,077,000. 4,000 points away. 3,000, 2,000. 0.02 Tetrises, and there it is.
Game 1 for Cole.
Game 1 for Cole, but what incredible survival for Sodium.
Meanwhile, we still have a game down bottom.
Tristop hangs. This could be bad if he doesn't get a Tetris quick. He's digging up at the top. 29.3 height. Trying to survive. This is going to be tough to get the board back open for the Tetris. He's getting the right pieces, but has another misdrop. Can skim this off the top. It's going to be really difficult. Gets one skim, gets another. Can't get a line piece over. Chase down for Meme. 1,451,000. One Tetris will do it, or lining out. Meme has 23,000 points to go. Is just going to play it safe for now, taking the singles and doubles. 12,000 points to go. 11,000, 9, 8,000. Feels like an auctioneer counting down these final lines. 6, 2, 1,000 points. And there it is. And Meme's going to mullen this, now going for Tetrises. Oh my goodness, slipping that right over the edge. 2 Tetrises for Meme, going for the rollover. And almost there. Time for one more Tetris. One more Tetris for the rollover. Just going all out, waiting for the long bar. Where is it? And there it is! Rollover for Meme.
In game 1 of the quarterfinals.
Let's go.
And it goes 3, 2, 1, Tetris! An absolute marathon of just non-stop incredible play.
So now we get a bit of a breather going back to 18, but as we saw earlier, even 18 can occasionally be deadly for these players. Not very often. Most of them are hovering in transition rates around, they transition in the mid 90% of the time. So usually you only see that less than 1 every 15 or 20 games. But it does happen, so these players do still want to be careful sometimes. Even at this height and speed, Sodium has some early traffic. Opts not to do a little T-spin there, just burns it down.
And looks like Fractal Tristop is keeping this game perfect for a bit of a run.
That's right, Tristop, 28 lines perfect. Meme meanwhile looks over, screen looks so. Meme has burned 2.5 Tetrises so far.
"32 lines perfect."
And Sodium, unfortunately, has been stuck in a high dig for quite a while. It's not in danger of being fatal until, well, he gets the long bar to open it up, and now he's in a strong position. Gets the Tetris back down to safety. But that did allow Cole to take a 72,000 point lead in the meantime. Meanwhile, Tristop no longer perfect on the bottom, just trying to navigate this little bit of a board situation.
Refusing to let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Yes.
Still, 80% Tetris rate, nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, Meme navigating again at the beginning of this game with a 46% Tetris rate. A little bit lower than we're used to seeing, but again, it's better to be alive than not.
You can never increase the Tetris rate if you top out.
So Tristop, though, has to be very happy with this early 100,000 point lead over 4.5 Tetrises.
Vits for Cole coming in at 281,000 points.
Meme does have the ability to play it a little bit safer here, knowing that she has that game in her back pocket. Tristop is going all out. He knows this is do or die, this game. Nice little spin by Tristop. Stabilize the board. Those spins are really clutch because they can cost you an entire Tetris or more if you don't hit them.
Sodium is Tetris ready. Simul Tetris for Sodium and Cole.
Cole has continued to maintain his about 2.5 Tetris lead up that he earned earlier in the game. So Sodium has been keeping pace with Cole ever since that early dig, but Cole has been maintaining the lead. And Tristop getting up a little bit high does get back down to safety with that Tetris. Opts not to set up a long bar dependency on the left. Is just going to try, three bad squares. He will be able to clear it out, but now does have that long bar dependency on the left. Plenty easy enough for a roller if he gets the right pieces. Is going to opt for just some triples. Triple-double.
Take it safe. Take the safety. Take the safety when you can.
Yeah. Oh, we're mixing lots of sports terms there. Triple double and safety. Now we just got to slip in basketball and hockey and football, baseball.
I'll try and come up with a hockey one. I've actually gotten into women's hockey recently.
Oh, nice.
I didn't grow up as a sports fan at all, but, life throws you in interesting directions.
It does. I never thought I'd be following Tetris as my main sport.
That's
but
true.
Here we all are. Meanwhile, Cole and Sodium is actually going to take the lead here. But Cole does have the Tetrises built up on his board, so the lead is pretty similar to what it was before. Maybe Sodium's got back a Tetris here in pace. Just trying to build out the side of his board, and he's not going to be able to do it cleanly unless he gets a T to really throw in here, and doesn't get it in time.
And we're coming up on transition where people are going to have to start thinking about their board health at least as much as their scoring potential.
Yeah, so that's a little bit tough for Sodium because he didn't get the right pieces to fill out the left. He is going to have to spend a lot of time burning here because he does not have a Tetris set up at the bottom. It's just going to be a triple. So he's going to make the most of what he can. He doesn't want to transition with a crazy board. He's going to transition in here in 6 lines, and meanwhile, everybody's on the verge of transitioning here. A little bit less crazy than last game. Cole is leading the way in pace, it looks like. Sodium transitions with 552. Meme 542. And Cole 656 and Tristop 627. So we actually did end up with 2 really solid transitions there from Cole and Tristop still. And this is just this textbook perfect play we're seeing right now from all 4 players. These great boards.
Tristop's trademark white columns, generally the long bars on the left, but squares will do it too.
Yeah. Sodium navigating the center. Nice double down the center. And another nice double down the center to keep his stack clean, but he is not getting the right pieces to fully resolve this. There it is. Open for business. Waiting on the Tetris. There it is.
Meme demonstrating some incredible consistency lately, narrowing the lead.
Unfortunately has a bit of a misdrop, which is going to slow her down just a little bit. This is not an elimination game for her, but she would love to put it away this game against an opponent like Tristop. Tristop, meanwhile, on pace for maybe another level 24 max if he gets a couple of quick Tetrises here.
Fighting for his life, leaving it all on the field.
Tristop trying to make work of this situation. Had a really nice spin tuck there. Ooh, nice adjustment mid-fall for the line piece. Saved a misdrop there. Trying to just wait for the Tetris. There it is. And meanwhile, Meme has not been able to take advantage. Still burning out of this situation. Down now 4 Tetrises still.
And that's a max out for Tristop, 1 million points.
Tristop first there. Incredible pacing by Tristop today. Cole is safe and in business. So is Sodium. Less than a Tetris difference, and Sodium takes the lead there. Neck and neck up at the top. Meanwhile, Tristop is slowing down a little bit. Has to take a bunch of burns. This is Meme's opportunity to regain some of this lead down to just 2.8 Tetrises.
And that's a max out for Cole up top. Sodium surely not far behind.
And there's a max out for Sodium. And in one more Tetris, we're going to have a max out for Meme. We're just waiting on it now. Where is it? The long bar lurks, and there it is.
As the prophecy foretold.
And here we go. We now have 29 transition watch. None of these players, Sodium is the first there. None of these players want a messy board. But Tristop and Cole are going to have to navigate some traffic. Tristop opens it up and gets the Tetris. And Meme is ready to fire back. Oh, has to take the triple. Knows she's behind. And Sodium fighting for his tournament life here. Can he get something over? And Cole has made the finals of the Philly Regional. Meanwhile, down at the bottom, Meme fighting for her tournament, or Tristop fighting for his tournament life. Meme fighting to put this away. Down 100,000 points in a messy board situation, and it's unraveling. Meme is stuck in a huge dig. Tristop also in a little bit of a dig, gets the Tetris. Meme is somehow surviving this. Needs a piece for the left, gets it. Trying to open this back up, has to put a square on top of the holes. This is going to be really tough for Meme. Does have the Tetris well open, waiting for the long bar. Where is it? Bailout long bar for survival. And it doesn't come. Tristop has tied this up. We are going to a
decider. 3,
2, 1, Tetris. And these players are off. Prize pool up to $671. Thank you again to all of our donors. It's more money on the line for all these top players. Perfectly managed boards for the first identical Tetrises. Exactly tied.
Both of them are set.
And Tristop is the first to maintain the perfect game, but immediately has to give it up with that square there. Ooh, lots of long bar dependencies. Gonna have to start filling them in. Ooh, Meme stuck in a dig early. This is not where she wants to be. Ooh, not so great squares. Has a dirty triple set up and is gonna get back down to safety, but that was an uncomfortable moment. You don't wanna go out like this. Back in business though.
Did not diminish scoring potential all that much, all things considered.
Yeah, this is still neck and neck. Tristop with a little bit of a sideways smirk, thinking out all these piece placements. And throwing those line pieces to the left. What's interesting is now that there's a Stack Rabbit tool in Nestor's Champs that shows you live ways during your game that Stack Rabbit recommends you put them. It doesn't always put the line piece to the left. It's weird. And this is a little bit of a precarious situation for Tristop. Getting those tucks in there is going to survive this, but that was a hairy moment for sure. And, well, it's still waiting on some pieces to survive this optimally. Now is that back down to safety.
Manipulating to the left side when you're that high up it's a little scary for anyone.
It is scary, yeah.
Even if you're rolling.
But it is one of those things that the AIs do reveal about stacking where I think we all have it drilled into us as players. When you can't get a Tetris, you throw the long bar to the left. It's always technically safe. But sometimes the AIs have creative things in mind. And that's really what these players are doing nowadays, thinking more and more creatively with all the tools available to them to really improve their Tetris games. And the one area left being the smartest. Think fast and smart, and Meme trying to avoid setting up a long bar dependency does manage to do it and is going to get a Tetris. And Meme has turned this around, is now in a 65,000 point lead. Tristop going to eat into that a little bit with the Tetris there.
It is an interesting commentary on the evolution of the game. I mean, for so many of the early years of the game, the Jonah's obviously leading with just an incredible stacking knowledge, head and shoulders above so many, even though speed was not the prize part of the game.
Oh my gosh, and Tristop way up at the top is going to get out of that, but that was a hair-raising moment.
And then the hyper-tapping era, followed shortly by the rolling era, all these improvements in speed.
Yeah.
And now that they've maxed out speed, it comes back down to, are you making the best decisions possible at every given moment?
And that has been an evolution simultaneously over time with the speed and the play styles. I remember after Jonas lost his first World Championships in 2013, he said that was the year he decided to think about how to get better and really started focusing on adjustments, which he hadn't done before. And now adjustments are just the name of the game for these top players. You look at Dangler, you look at the others who go for perfect games, and these players too, you'll see adjustments all over the place.
There's
Tristop, we'll see if he goes for the center well. Nah, he doesn't have to be forced into it, is able to build the board cleanly. Still only down less than 2 Tetrises, now less than 1. Meme gonna turn it back up to almost 2. This is do or die for both players. Everything on the line in this game. Tristop looking to repeat as Philly champ. Meme looking to win another regional in a golden year for her with a top 2 CTWC run this year.
so much story, so much prestige, and $671 in total on the line, but it could be more. Could be very much more. That's all up to you.
That is true.
Coming up on transition, 10 lines away, very close to the 500,000 mark.
Yeah, we will see. These are going to be mid 500,000 transitions. Actually, in the case of Tristop, exactly 500,000. A little bit lower than we're used to seeing from Tristop today, but we know he can bring it on 29, so Meme still has her work cut out for her no matter where Tristop's at. Meme trying to just get in position here, is not getting a flat bottom piece. There it is. And does get a flat bottom piece there. I don't know if there's a universal term for it, but I have those situations, and I spot them with other players too, where you need a piece that has 2 Minos on the bottom. There's 3 pieces that have it. And sometimes you get droughted on those 3 pieces all at the same time, and it's the worst.
Those flat bottom pieces make the world go round.
Tristop manages to get out of there, retakes the lead. Meme takes it right back, ping-ponging back and forth with this lead. Both players trying to push each other to the limits. They are racing to the max out. Then they will be racing to the 1.1, the 1.2, all the way to the rollover if they can. Two perfectly managed boards right now. Meme taking the burns, Tristop taking the burns, both of them getting the Tetrises, less than a Tetris apart. The lead going back and forth, just 6,000.
Neck and neck.
Meme with a nice adjustment of the square there. Unfortunately, it doesn't pay off in the medium term. We'll see if it pays off in the long term. And it's actually working out. Oh, does have to make a hole. Is having to burn a little bit. Tristop getting a little high. Does get the Tetris.
A 25-piece drought.
So we will see if Tristop can capitalize on this little bit of a burn by Meme here to build up some lead going into level 29.
Taking the safety triple, bringing the board down, following it up.
This is uncomfortable for Meme. She's not getting the most efficient clears here to be able to burn this down quickly. Unhelpful S-piece is getting it down bit by bit.
Tristop
One more line
is
piece.
opening up the lead.
There's the line piece for Meme. Does have things open and ready for business. And there it is. Tetris for Meme. But Tristop now has a 77,000 point lead. Now over 100,000 points. Meme screen looking, seeing what she will be in going into 29, what her situation will be, calibrating the aggression. Tristop trying to take this strong into 29. Wants to build up as much of a lead as he can while it's still easier.
10 lines to 29.
And it is close. Only 1.5 Tetrises separate these players. Tristop, 1 Tetris away from a max. And we are waiting. Both players 1 Tetris away. They can both get it into 29. I got my co-commentator ready here with the bell. And there it is for Tristop. Has to burn into 29, and Meme burns in 2. There's the Tetris for Meme. Takes the lead.
Double maxes going into 29.
And Meme now has a 1 Tetris lead. Tristop looking to fire back. Trying to get this board in position. Does have to create a hole in the stack. These square pieces are not ideal. Oh, makes it to Tristop. Tristop fighting for his tournament life. The reigning champ is on the line, and Meme.
Meme takes the match. moves into the finals.
A full crowd here in our Tetris section. It is the most packed booth I can see in this entire room. All here to watch these incredible players. And it's gonna be Cole versus Meme.